Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, and as you can probably tell from the title of this video, over the last few days I've been using the SMLE again. And as you can see from the clips in this video, it's a complete beast at mid to long range, and I'd even go as far as to say it's probably one of the best guns in the game. The reason for this is, like I've said in previous videos, because it's got a really great short to mid-range sweet spot, which quite often gets you those one-hit kills. And as if that isn't already good enough, it's still capable of getting one-shot kills, even out to extreme ranges, as long as you manage to land a headshot. The thing is though, it's not just the SMLE that has this one-shot kill potential, because many of the other bolt actions are almost as good. And the fact is, if you're a half-decent player, especially on PC, with a bolt action you can pretty much go toe-to-toe with just about every other gun in the game. On the other hand though, the LMGs for example, have been considerably nerfed since BF4, and they're still slogging it out trying to land 5 or 6 shot kills. And so, needless to say, because of this, on most of the larger game modes, you're gonna be seeing a lot more players running Scout in BF1, because it honestly does feel like easy mode. Now, with that being said, this might not be the case on console. I'm not sure because I haven't actually played it on PS4 since the beta, but it does seem like on PC it is becoming a bit of an issue, which is starting to unbalance a lot of the objective-based game modes. Because although sniping is way more effective now and it's pretty fun, sometimes you just need more guys on your team to PTFO. And the problem is, it seems like in a lot of games, half of one team is sitting up the back and trying to get kills, while the other half of the team is down below getting steamrolled. The thing is though, the problem isn't really the sniper rifles, and I know most of you guys would probably agree they don't need to be changed, but on the other hand, I do feel like something has got to be done about the other guns, because it's pretty obvious they're just not on the same level. And the reason for this, I think, is because DICE are trying to give each weapon category its own unique identity, which on the surface is actually a pretty cool idea. But the problem is, in-game this concept isn't really working, because as it turns out, guns like the SMLE are still able to dominate everything from about 50 meters out. So the question is, how does DICE fix the problem without screwing up the sniper rifles at the same time? Well, to begin with, I think the first thing they need to do is at least give some of the other guns a bit better ability to counter them. For example, in previous games, I always found that the DMRs were one of the best ways to counter sniper rifles at mid-range. But at the moment, I just don't feel like they're accurate enough to do this, and with iron sights, it's also a lot harder to keep your rounds on a small target. On the other hand, the LMGs are actually pretty good when it comes to countering snipers, because they've got a super effective suppression effect. But like I said, because they've been nerfed so much since BF4, it just seems like you're almost always at a disadvantage against everything else. I'm not saying that they should buff the LMGs back to where they were in BF4, but I do think they need a little help if they're going to be a lot more common on the battlefield. And I think probably the best way to do this is to just buff their damage drop off a bit more, so at least they stand a bit better chance at mid-range against, for example, the semi-autos. But anyway, to finish up, if previous games are anything to go by, I should point out that we could be waiting a while for a balancing patch to come around. So in the meantime, the question is, what can you do as a player to keep the game fresh and make the experience better for everyone else? Well, to begin with, if you're playing on a server and you notice there's only a few supports on your team, you might want to switch over and help them out. And on the other hand, if you're on a team that already has like 10 scouts, then maybe you want to think about avoiding that class at least for a round or two. The most important thing is though, is to look at less effective guns as a challenge, because the way that I look at it is, where's the skill in using the god guns, and wouldn't it feel better to actually do well with a bad one? Also, and this goes without saying, if you try and focus on completing objectives rather than on KD, you're probably less likely to care about a less effective gun. Because, and I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times before, there's really no point in getting a lot of kills if your team ends up losing the match anyway. But anyway guys, I think that just about wraps up this video, so let me know what you think about the weapon balance in BF1, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see any more of my videos, or if you want to support my channel on Patreon, And until next time, see you later and have a good one.